Hi guys, this is Ramina. Today is Friday, Friday 17th January 2020. The time is 2:25 p.m. I am here in Portland, Oregon, inside my house. मैं अपनी कमरे में हूँ, in my master bedroom. In bathroom में हूँ इस वक्त, and I was getting ready to leave the house, and that's when my father started like opening and slamming drawers and cabinet doors, and like he's just opening it and slamming it, like he's opening and slamming everything for no reason, and he's like threatening me and harassing me. Um, he's you he's using like verbally abusive language with me, and let's see. Oh no, man. There. He's okay. So it was since yesterday, since the time he woke up yesterday, that would have been morning time. I'm not sure what time that was, but he had stayed up until like I'm not sure. It was like I'm trying to think. He was up. Um, mm, he was he was up for a pretty long time. He didn't. So from yesterday morning till to this morning, I'm not sure like what time. Right now it's 2:27. I don't think he's gotten any sleep since then. I know he was up, and I know factually he was up from yesterday morning until 6 a.m. this morning, because about 6 a.m. is when I went to sleep, and 6 a.m. is that would have been the last time that I had heard him up there, until I woke up again early this morning. I'm not sure what time that was, but I even heard him. It was like already daylight outside, and I just remember that uh, I oh my god. So I just remember that he so I remember that he was up uh, at that hour too. Whenever I woke up at daylight, and he's constantly like been drinking like a lot of caffeine, and he's been like sacrificing his sleep. He's been forcing himself to stay up just so he can harass me, assault me, abuse me, whatever he's doing. Obviously, he's coming down in my basement when I'm asleep, unconscious here. And I don't think it's just him alone. After he does whatever he does, I think my mom comes down here. Why I say my mom comes down here, because this morning I was asleep and I could hear her voice. I was unconscious in bed, right? But I could hear her voice reciting a mantra. I heard her over me. I felt somebody touching me as I laid unconscious on the bed. Um, so they're coming in like one after the other. And I just remember, like my legs, they felt very strenuous, and I was just really tired and sleepy. I hadn't been able to get up. My ears were oily inside, and I always clean out my ears every morning. So it just doesn't make sense, like how my ears would be oily. And why would it be oily instead of waxy? Like, I mean, waxy and oily are two different things. Our ears are usually waxy. There's I don't think there's much oil content that comes from our ear canal. So anyways, I wash my ears inside. I wash the canals inside every morning. I wash it constantly every time I go in the shower. Every time I use the restroom, I do a full body shower again. And it just I once overheard my mother say that, oh, Muhammad, उसके Muhammad, कान में उसके तेल छोड़े के है. We have to put oil in her ear. And clearly they were referring to me as her. Um, so what I'm trying to say here is uh when I finally went to sleep at 6 a.m. this morning, I stayed up all night. I stayed up all night in my basement. I stayed up all night from the time I came back home. I stayed up all night and till I stayed up until 6 a.m. this morning. Okay. And so when I had gone to sleep, here in my bed in the basement, that is like when I heard like my father stomping his feet around and like banging stuff on the upper level on the ground. And like I could hear somebody walk down the staircase, but I was just too tired to get up. And my phone had run out of battery life at that time. And so it was on the charger charging. That is why I wasn't like recording. Also, I was really tired, and there's like no guarantee. Like if I'm recording, like they can come and delete the evidence. And so uh what God, just gonna check how many minutes we're in. We are 8 minutes 4 seconds in live streaming. And so um they're using like EMR devices. They're using electronic radiation devices to like, because I have radioactive poison in my system. I have radioactive substance in my system. Um, and so with electronic radiation devices, they're able to make me fall asleep as long as the radioactive poison or radioactive substance is in my body. And so when I fall asleep, they come down here and they're doing like tantric rituals on me, and they're not just doing tantric rituals and stealing my luck, all that shit. It's not just that. They're also like they're like for clearly they're putting sedatives and like some sort of like, I mean, if my legs feel strenuous, like what does that mean? They're putting some sort of like drugs in they're I don't know if they're injecting me or if they're putting it in my mouth or they're just like uh rubbing it into my body. I'm not sure like what is going on, but I just know that I'm sedated and I can barely like move my legs. Like I'm not sure like if it's like something that I don't know if it's like I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure what they. I just know they're coming down here because I've heard them come down the staircase to my basement many times. There's no purpose for them to come down to my basement and just leave. It just the base. I mean, there's no purpose of them coming down to the staircase, um, because it just leads to my basement. Unless they're coming down to the staircase to, abuse me. It's like it's the illegal use of chemical. It's basically it's chemical restraints. They're restraining me with drugs, chemicals. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna keep the camera rolling. Um, I'm just my father, like, he was getting pretty, like, you know, I don't know what the word is for that, but like he was getting like, I want to say violent, but like it's not actually violence unless you're like physically assaulting somebody. But if I were up there, I have no doubt that he would have assaulted me just like the way he assaulted me in 2011, in 2007, in 2013, in 2014. I have no doubt, because that's been my experience so far since I was a young child, actually. Um, so in 2011, he hit me with his fist in my spine, and he took like a broken piece of, like it was like some sort of broken like pottery or something, and he hit me with that into my back, on my spine. And there was another incident where I was where I was where I was where I was in the vehicle. My mother was in the driver's seat, and my mother went to pick up my father. She took myself and my sisters for a ride to go and pick her husband up. And my sister Aisha happened to be sitting in the front seat, and and there was someone else in the back with me. And what happened was, when my mom had gone to pick her husband up, he had some sort of like documents on him, and the person that was with me ripped those documents up. I don't know why, but that person didn't have much understanding. That person is so innocent, and so like, how do I explain? That person is, it was a young person, okay, that did that. And um so he got pissed off, and he hit that person. And I stood up in defense of that person, and I told him not to dare, touch that person, not to touch him. And that that's like when he that was when he pounded me with his fists in my back again, multiple times.